Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Jake from pop rock band Morning in May.
Woo!
It's the same old shame, I know. You're the reason I come home late, wasting so much time away. In the car, now I'm parked, just a couple blocks away, hoping you are still awake. Oh, midnights in Malibu, luxury touring through my dashboard's an ocean view. Oh, midnights in Malibu, luxury tearing through all of my time with you. Midnights in Malibu.
Jake, the last time we talked on the show was November 1st, 2024, and we talked about your cover of Pink Pony Club. What have you been up to since then?
That was that was a long time ago. We went on a couple tours with the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. We recorded 3 new songs. Um, we got oh wow, there's so much that happened. We got a new booking agent. We did a couple music videos. We played some shows. We did a lot. Yeah. I think everything you can do in a band, I think we re-upped and redid.
Um, you got any crazy tour stories?
Oh, well, you know what? Actually, yeah. So, so we started. We played Rock on the Hill back in June, with Red Jumpsuit, and it was crazy. This is the wildest, I guess. It's not like we broke stuff and went girl crazy or anything like that. But this is one of the craziest moments that ever happened in my life. So we fortunately slash unfortunately got this show because a friend of ours band had to drop off because they had some bus troubles. Their bus got on fire, and RIP bus. I knew the bus. I've been on that bus. So it broke. So our publicist uh talked to the festival promoter, Brendan Starr, and he messaged us and said, "Hey, do you guys want to hop on this festival?" And we're like, "Yeah, for sure. It sounds really fun. Red Jumpsuit's playing until I explain it, so we have friends on the bill." And we're like, "Of course." So we do. We didn't know when we were slotted to play, and then we found out that it was like the first band. And we're like, "Ah, that sucks," but whatever. It was in Hanover, PA, and very, very long story short, uh we it was raining when we got there, and our drummer Andrew has narcolepsy, and he's like out of it when he's sleeping in the van, and when we get somewhere he's just like disoriented, and so we had to get him out. And I remember that because it was raining, and Andrew dropped his he dropped something, probably cigarettes or something, but he dropped something on the ground. And then while we were setting up in the rain under the tent and all that stuff, um, Ronnie from the Red Jumpsuit came over, and he's like, "Hey man, I think you dropped these to Andrew." And Andrew's like has no idea what's going on. He goes, "Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, cool." And then he turns around and he starts fixing his drums and stuff. And I was like, "That was Ronnie from the Red Jumpsuit." And he goes, "Oh, what? Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." And so I was like, "Hey, why don't you like go take 10 minutes, like go collect yourself and all that stuff." So that was the beginning of the festival. So it was kind of weird. Like we just like it's always go, go, go when we get there. So the we played our first slotted show there, and the equipment didn't work, and we blew the speakers out and stuff. We have a lot of like we have a lot of subs in our backtracks, and we got a lot of like low end stuff. So it blew the system out. They couldn't handle it, and we were like the guinea pig band because we were the first band of the day. So that sucked. It went on, and then the power cut off, and then went on and went off. So we ended up playing like 2.5 songs, and then after they were like, "Hey, we'll just you guys can play like third or fourth or whatever." So we got off and we're like, "Oh, that sucked." But while nothing was working, like it was set up like Warped Tour style, so we had like merch tents and stuff. So while we were playing, I ran to the merch tent and I got a whole bunch of like wristbands and stickers and stuff. And I came back, and while we were doing nothing on stage, like everybody's just looking at us, and we have no power, no microphone, nothing's going on. I just started like throwing out wristbands and saying like, "Hey, we'll play a set for you or something." Acoustic at the table or at the tent and stuff, just to give them something. And then we got off. We were like, "That sucked." Like that was one of the worst shows and worst things that happened. And then they let us play I think fourth. We got to go back on, and they fixed everything. And it was like a two-stage thing. So one band was playing while the other sets up, the other band was playing and stuff like that. So we ended up playing, and it was cool, and we rocked it as we do. And after that, Andrew and I we were in one of our fights that we always get into. Our brotherly love fights. I don't even remember really what it was about, but we were fighting, and I just got a text from we butt heads a lot, and it's very loving and stupid. But Scott texted me and he's like, "Hey, Ronnie just came to our tent and he said we were great and awesome. He asked us if he wanted gummy bears." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, man." And he goes, "Yeah, but he wants to manage us. He asked us about like who's representing us and who's doing all this stuff." And I was like, "What? Really?" So I ran over to the tent. And it's like a big like fairground festival thing. So I had to like, it took me like 20 minutes just to get over to them, just running. So I talked to them, and then uh, I walked past Ronnie because we were backstage, and then he took me back by his like RV van thing, and we had a very awesome conversation. And he was like, "I love your band. I think you guys are great. Um, I wanna I wanna take you guys out on the road and manage you guys and all that stuff." And that's kind of how that happened. And it's wild. And I don't ever get to tell the full story. Um, I usually give them like 30 seconds, 45 seconds on stage every night when we play, just a like a gratitude thing. And we cut a lot time out of our set to tell them like, "Hey, thanks for thinking we're cool." And like nobody really does that anymore. And nobody does like the rock star thing where they go, "Hey kid, you're um we think you're awesome. With my help, you could be the best." Like nobody does that anymore. So we're pretty grateful. And then after that, we went to some mall in the middle of nowhere that was closing, and Ronnie called me and kind of was like, "Hey, do you really want to do this?" And then I was just like in disbelief, the stuff that we were doing and talking about and stuff. And um, yeah, after that, we've went on like 4 or 5 tours with them in the last 8 months. So it's been pretty neat. And then there's more to follow, more stuff to come, and we have the same booking agent now and a bunch of stuff. So a lot of heartache moments kind of paid off, and that was cool for us. So that was cool. Other than that, no, we're just all of our tours were just wild. I don't know. We're all over the place, all over the time. We see everything. We went to Mystic Falls for a second, where they filmed Vampire Diaries. We went to St. Augustine, some forts and stuff. We hung out with Scott's parents. Yeah. Other than that, it's just like kind of vacation stuff.
Yeah, that's cool that he wants to like, mentor you guys and show you, the right way to operate and everything.
Yeah. It's cool because he doesn't we don't he doesn't really we don't really need too much guidance. He kind of just says, um, "Did you guys do this? Are you doing this? Did you do this?" And it's always, "Yep, yep, already did it, already done. Yep, cool." So he's very hands on, hands off. So if I get stuck, or if I need something, or some kind of somebody texted or emailed or something, I usually that's it. But other than that, we did do songs 2 months ago. We wrote two songs together, and yep, we're just doing the thing.
That's awesome. Can you like run me down like a day in the life of while you're on tour?
While we're on tour, of course, yeah. So so we have there's five of us in a ProMaster. It's like a Sprinter van, and it's the second to largest one. Um, our sound guy has a CPAP, so that is on and going at all times in the van while we're sleeping, um, which is kind of fun. But Rob, he's one of our main characters in our new music video. Uh, we usually wake up around, I'd say, 8 o'clock or so, 9 o'clock, at like a Love's or some truck stop or somewhere. Um, Scott works from the road, and he works at UMG Nashville, so he's on the country label side stuff. So he's usually, me and him get up early, and then we kind of sit in like a dining room area, or if there's like a Denny's or something like that, we'll sit at the like diner portion of whatever truck stop we're at, and we kind of just hang out. And like we'll do, that's usually when we get all of our like photos and stuff from the night before, the night before that, or something like that, from all the photographers. And we kind of do like social media stuff. We usually leave by like 10 o'clock. We have to head to the venue. We have to be at every venue at like 2 or 3. And then we get there, we see what the run of show is for the day. We unload everything, get stuff set up, um, and then red jumpsuit checks. Then we check, and then after that, we kind of go get dressed and stuff. We have like show attire and whatever. I sit by the merch table and make sure that's all good. The guys will get the guys will go to a diner or something, are close. They kind of see the sights. That's when we can do that. And then that's it. Show starts. We're probably we're probably out by 11 or midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll drive and then do it again.
Now, do you usually like when you leave at the end of the night, do you like drive halfway or you drive the whole way and just spend the night there?
It depends on how long the drive is. We usually try to do like 3 to 5 hours in between shows. That's not always the case. Sometimes we've done 20, 30, 40 hours in between shows. So usually if it's optimal, if it's like 3 to 5 hours, Andrew, like I said, he has narcolepsy, which means he is weirdly up at night, all night. So he usually takes night shifts, and he'll drive honestly until he gets pretty tired. We probably get a quarter halfway to wherever we're going. I like to have like 2 hours um in the morning of driving, and no more than that, because I don't we don't like sitting in the car for 3, 4, 5 hours and then go playing a show. It just kind of feels like you have like 3 days in one, and it gets your like circadian rhythm all weird.
Okay. Um, what have you learned about the music industry in the past year and a half?
The past year and a half, I moved to Nashville, and I've learned that song songwriting is a little different, um, now, modern songwriting and how certain genres operate and work. I had a hinkling before, but a lot of stuff's very more formulaic than uh, I think it should be. Um, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I haven't learned I haven't learned too much new stuff in the last year and a half, other than like take every opportunity that you ever get ever. I knew that, but now the last year and a half, even more so. Just say yes to everything. which that was, I guess it wasn't learned, but it was reinstated and validated that you should always do and take what you can do.
If there was one thing you could change about the music industry, what would it be?
The attitude of data in a way. Your y- all artists now are data. You either are good data or bad data. You either have good numbers or bad numbers. So you are only as good as your number, no matter how good your band is, where you're at, how professional and stuff. So there are very large, ill-equipped bands that are doing very big things that aren't ready, and there are very seasoned bands that definitely know what they're doing, have been, and they're stuck at a certain level. So that's kind of it. And there's a lot of people that are not ready, doing really great things, uh, and kind of not fumbling it, but they're just learning really, really quick, and it that can really hurt your career for long term. Um, and then there's really good bands that have been out for a really long time that are having a really hard time doing anything. And that's all based on like numbers and like TikTok and stuff like that. I don't I'm not like one of those guys that like hates TikTok and all the social media stuff because it's a tool. It's like it's there to use, however, and just because you can't figure something out or really get out there with it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But yeah, that's my answer.
But does numbers actually translate into seats at a venue?
No, not at all. We've played shows and toured with bands that have great crazy numbers on certain platforms, and then 5 people, 10 people show up at a show, and that's part of like the bands aren't ready to do things that they're doing. It does no, it doesn't. It's not only it can be faked. It's a little hard now to fake stuff. But yeah, it's not a good metric. It's really not a good metric to go off of.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about your song Midnights in Malibu. Let's tell me how you did you sit down with like the producers and write this song from scratch, or did you come in with like some guitar parts? Tell me all about that.
For that song in particular, I wrote. I always usually write the bones, like the skeleton of the song, and then like I'll have just so everybody knows kind of like what the vibe is before we get into it. I'll play like the guitar, like the these are the notes, these are the chords, or this is the key in which it's structured. And then the bass usually will follow the guitar, or I'll have some kind of rhythm of how I want it to go. And then the drums are the same thing. Like the drums are like, okay, I want it to be double time here, I want it to be really slow here, I want it to be broken up here. And then we'll do some like kick snare pattern that's really simple, and I try to just make every facet really easy, and then we'll go in with the guys and the producer, and then we'll go, okay, like let's make this way more interesting. So Malibu, we did the same thing. We went into the studio with Kyle Odell and Zach Keel. Kyle's done Motionless in White, Papa Roach, Nothing More, stuff like that. And then Zach actually did our last single masterclass in Class of X. So we all got to sit down together and kind of write out parts and see what we could do. And then we took the song structure and then we just built on it. And if anything needed changed or wiped or anything, that's usually when we do all that.
Now, when you guys get in there, does it come like easier being who you're working with to start progressing the song from there?
That was the first time that I worked with Kyle, was that song. Uh, Scott's worked with him before, but not really. That's where your really like your professionalism comes in. We are all not to gloat, but we are all very, very uh talented, I guess, musicians. Um, in the way that not we're not like crazy, super awesome good, but we always have. There's always an idea to go, so we don't get stuck on anything. And I think that's all what professionalism is. I think if there's ever something, you should always have something. If they're like, "What do we do here, guys?" Okay, well, we have this, and then if that works, cool. If it doesn't work, okay, well, what else do you have? Oh, we have this, we have that. This does this. We're a band that there's always something can always go there, and we're never sitting there like, well, what do we do now? What's the song gonna do here? You know. So I think we're all pretty good in that facet.
Okay. Let's talk about the music video. There's like three different scenes, and there's like a psychology scene and something that looks kind of like a timeshare type of thing. And then like a car dealership with cars in it. Tell me about that music video, how that came together.
So I had a really dumb idea, and it I feel like it worked. I feel like some people I feel like you it's if you don't know what there is a method to the madness. There is a reason all those things are there. So pretty much we tried to like put together like we have the full band shots and everything like that, but the the first thing is like therapy. So it's couples therapy, and they're trying to figure out how to fix their relationship. And then that's when Rob, our sound guy, or the psychiatrist or whatever, recommends like a timeshare, like, hey, this is your vacation spot. And then they go to the timeshare and they all sit down and they're like, okay, what's this about? And then we're actually selling them. Um, it's fake marketing. They're not going to Malibu. They get to ride in a Malibu. so that's kind of what we did. Um, Yeah, and the song just goes back and forth between like most of your escape is your car. So like I've been in situations in my life where like I just sit in my car and that's the only way that I can get away from doing anything, or like the drive home from work or something, or like I just go sit somewhere in my car, and that's my only relief from life or anything, and that's what the whole song's about.
Okay. Uh, there's some funny parts in there with you and Scott and like goofing around and stuff. It reminds me of like some old school like Foo Fighters videos where they're goofing around on the plane and stuff. And did you did you get inspiration from that for some of those funny goofy things in the video?
Not on purpose. We're just goofy guys, and everybody's trying to be really serious, and we like the idea is just kind of goofy. And we're just goofy people, so I think it comes out. But I think it stems from like all of those videos growing up, watching those as a kid. We've Those are the videos that we lean towards, and that's what we've like absorbed, and that's kind of what comes out now.
It happens crumb and crumb again. Stuck on the inside, looking out, praying for you to come around. Maybe why won't it end? What was good enough in love was never meant to work for us. Oh, midnights in Malibu, luxury touring through.
Okay. What is like one of your favorite lines in Midnights in Malibu?
I have a couple. I know the guys really like the bridge because that's something I wrote on the spot in the actual thing. They were like, "Hey, we need something for the bridge," and it ended up being a really cool part. But I'll take the scenic route till the lights, scenic route till the lights go out, and stay up all night without you. That's just like a tagline that gets stuck in our heads all the time. Um, I don't know why. I really like singing "Stuck on the Inside Looking Out, Waiting for You to Come Around." I don't know why. It's just a good part of the song, and I don't it does something for me every time I sing it.
It's kind of deep, you know.
Yeah.
What's your plans for this year?
So we are talking to some labels. We're gonna see what happens with that, but we have a couple releases coming out. Um, we have a couple tours that we're waiting to hear back if we got. I know we have another red jumpsuit tour I think in August, and I think we're going over to Canada. And then we're just waiting to hear back for 2 or 3 other tours right now.
Any festivals?
Again, we're waiting to hear back. I'm so bad with this. I think so, but I don't I don't know which one. I think so. And we're waiting to hear back from like 2 of them. We might do like this special like pop-up thing at one of them. So nothing like confirmed ready to go right now.
Okay. And you talked about recording a couple new songs. Are you planning on releasing them this year?
Yes. So the one that I was working on earlier, we're just doing the finishing touches on this song, and us and John from the Red Jumpsuit, we're just finishing it up. It should be done tomorrow, but we're that should be released here in like the next like 6 or 7 weeks. And then after that, usually like every 6 weeks, we should have a song coming out until the fall.
Awesome. Awesome. Where can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah. Whatever you got. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Pandora, Amazon, but Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah.
Okay. That's all the questions I got. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Be grateful for everything you have and everything that you do. And gratitude is the best thing to have, and mindset and all that stuff. So I don't know. Sure. It sounds good. It sounded good. No, Randy, that's it.
Oh, midnights in Malibu, luxury touring